Welcome, D. McClung's Art Monologues. That's where I talk and you don't. Brought to you by iDemon Studios, Real Deal Books, and McClung Originals, where art is made for over 60 years. Yeah, for sure. All right, what should we talk about this time? Let's see. Let's talk about cigarettes. Now, I'm well aware of the ongoing war against smokers of cigarettes. And I have some sympathy for people who are annoyed by cigarette smoke. I've actually had people say, I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. And, I don't really always believe them. The reason being is that I don't think they are. I think maybe it might irritate them. It might mess with their sinuses, sort of like an allergy. But anything that irritates a person's nose or lungs could be considered an allergy. Any repugnant smell or odor or fumication can be disturbing to a person consciously, or that is to say mentally, as well as physically. I understand that. I understand their discomfort. I understand the dilemma that they might have if they are around smokers. All right. However, the way to deal with that is simply let's be civilized. Be civilized. Be civil towards your fellow man. Both directions. If you're a smoker, let's be considerate of other people. It irritates the person standing next to you, so perhaps you shouldn't do it. Make some space. Go outside. Keep a distance. If you're in somebody's house and they're not smokers, they might very well tell you, guess what? No smoking in my house. Well, it's their house, even if, for whatever. It's their house, and they have a right to say, hey, don't smoke cigarettes in my house. And I suppose you have a choice. Don't smoke in their house and respect their wishes, or leave. And I suppose there might be circumstances where you might actually have some difficulty. You might have to be in the house for some reason that you can't leave, or their office, for example. Let's say you're conducting a business meeting with someone in their office, and you gotta stay because you're there to conduct business with the person who owns the office. So you'll have to deal with that. That's the way it works. You just do. And the other way around. If you've got a house and you smoke in your house, and you have guests come in that, I like smoking, it irritates me, I'm allergic to smoke, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me point out something here. Smoke is always an irritant to the lungs of human beings or animals or any living thing with lungs. They don't, smoke is not good for them. It's just common sense. Lungs are for air, oxygen. Lungs are not meant for, heavy metal particles or, you know, poisonous gases or burning embers contained in the smoke of a cigarette. Okay, yeah, well, it's just not, I'm going to say it, I just don't think it's logical to put smoke in your lungs. I say this with a cigarette in my hand. And bear in mind, I've smoked cigarettes for over 50 years. Not a good thing. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not going to deny it. Why would I? It's true. And I have sinus troubles and I have allergies and so forth. And I'm going to guess that's probably because I'm around cigarette smoke. However, that's not exactly what I want to talk about. All of that stuff is pretty much a given. All that stuff is a situation where you say, I want to smoke, I'm going to smoke. It's legal. It is legal. And I don't care if anybody suggests to you it is not legal or shouldn't be legal. They're fools. That's just ridiculous. Tobacco grows. It's there. People have been smoking tobacco for ages and ages and ages. The American Indians, Native Americans, whatever word you use to describe them or yourself, if you're one of them, indigenous people. And one of them told me, it said everything was cool as long as, you kept the smoking of tobacco down to, a ceremonial thing, a ritual thing, something that we did, like, let's smoke the peace pipe, or let's engage in the smoking of tobacco as oh, you know, a friendly, I don't know what the word is, um, you know, in a peace treaty, like, let's all pass the pipe, and, it's, don't bogart that pipe, dude. But that was the Indian words on that. Was, you just can't just do it like a chain smoker. You can't just do it like every minute, every day, all day, forever and ever. I mean, you just do it on special occasions. As long as people were just doing it now and then, like on a special occasion or socially, as they used to say, uh, you know, it wasn't a problem. And I don't think it was. By the way, this thing about lung cancer, secondhand smoke causes lung cancer. They've been saying that for years. Well, I don't believe it. Now, I'm not saying that smoking does not irritate the human body and therefore create conditions that might allow cancers to grow. And I might myself be subjected to that. I mean, after all, I had the polio vaccine back in the 50s, the one that had cancer in it, or cancer causing monkey virus. Yeah. Well, anyway. All right. So I also read somewhere that at some point that lung cancer was very uncommon, even though a lot, like, I don't know how many, I can't remember the number, but let's say 80% of people in America smoke cigarettes or tobacco. Um, Back around the turn of the century, like the 1900 century, 1900s when I came in, and 80%. Now, I'm guessing, I can't remember exactly. Could be 90%, could have been 70%, but I think it was around 80%. It's a common practice. And how many cases of lung cancer were there? Well, I'm saying, I read this. I'm not saying that it's absolutely true, and there's a lot of crap in the internet these days, but I read this some time ago, was that we didn't start having this cancer, and particularly lung cancer and stuff, so badly as we do now until after the vaccine business started taking hold, like polio vaccines and in around the 1920s, as I recall. Now, I'm just putting that out there. You don't have to believe it. You can do your research, look it up, see what you think. I don't care. It's not my. I'm just mentioning it as in passing. Take it for what it's worth. But, I also like to point out that I don't inhale. And don't be telling me, oh, yeah, Bill Clinton, yeah, he said he didn't inhale marijuana. I guarantee you when I smoke marijuana, I inhale. Oh, yeah. And that's been about 50 years ago. I haven't had any pot for, well, let's just say 50 years, which is kind of sad, really. Probably make life a little better in some cases. Uh, I know people that smoke it regularly and say that it's really, helpful and beneficial to their life physically and so on. And, maybe so. I haven't tried it for that reason. And with this new medical marijuana thing going on in West Virginia, for example, um, I might consider it to see if it does help with my whatever, arthritis or what have you. But in the meantime, let me segue back to where I was headed, and that was cigarettes are defective. Let that sink in for a minute. Cigarettes are defective. They haven't always been defective. They have been recently, within the last, 10 years. They're a defective product. And when a company manufactures and sells, distributes to the consumer a product that is defective, that's called fraud. And fraud is a felony. All right, let me elaborate a little bit. I used to smoke a cigarette that I rather enjoyed. Well, actually, I used to enjoy smoking back when I first started. And I did on occasion just smoke a little bit too much, and it affected me. Which it's understandable. Smoke too much, you've hurt your throat a little. All right, and I believe it's quite true that you can affect your taste buds and the health of your mouth. Uh, just the residue of smoke in your mouth can cause you to have discomforts in your mouth. Now, I'm not talking about the cancer thing. That's a pretty much a given. Cancer is there; it exists, and so on. But as far as this, my mother, bless her heart and rest her soul, she was 92 and a half years old when she died, and she was around cigarette smoking her whole life. Her whole life. That means all 92 years of her life on a pretty much regular basis. Now, that's not to suggest that she actually had someone in the house that she lived in all the time that smoked cigarettes. There were a couple husbands that did not smoke. Well, at least one. My father smoked, and he passed away at a young age, but not from smoking. So I won't get into that. That wasn't the cause of my father dying. But my father smoked, I smoked, my brother smoked when we lived at home and when we went to visit. Never gave it a thought. My mother never complained. She never said, "Hey, don't do that, it irritates my nose." Nothing. Ever. Not a word. Well, until later years, she got a little concerned, but it was not because it really bothered her, but because, you know, she heard that it was not a good thing. So she got a little paranoid about it. And I don't blame her. I understand. But we did, in consideration of my mother, try not to smoke directly around her. I mean, we would go out on the porch or go in the way back in the back bedroom, and which was, you know, she just didn't go there, pretty much. It was not her room. My brother stayed there sometimes when he was in town. So we were considerate for the most part. At any rate, if secondhand smoke was a problem and caused cancer, lung cancer, then how come it is my mother didn't have any lung cancer? So getting lung cancer from secondhand smoke might be a statistical anomaly. There might be a percentage of people who got cancer, lung cancer, from secondhand smoke. What is that percentage? Certainly not 100%, because my mother was around smoking her, even when she was at home as a child and so on. Her father smoked cigarettes. I know this because I saw him, I saw his cigarettes, and as it turns out, he didn't smoke the cigarettes in the house. Now, he might have smoked cigarettes in the house, in the old farmhouse that he lived in, but when they moved to the new house, he smoked in the shed. He'd go out, he had a shed, kept his tools and so forth. And as far as I can remember, he even had an outhouse out there in the shed. So he didn't have to use the house toilet. He had his outhouse. And to conserve the septic system, I suppose. My grandmother was a stickler on that, but we won't get into that. Anyway, I just knew he smoked, and at some point, my mother and my grandmother all admitted that he did, in fact, smoke Camels. And he died at a older age, not as young as my father when he died, and certainly not as and he had some trauma to his head in the coal mines, and the coal mine caved in and broke his head, but he survived, and for many, 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 many years after that. But at any rate, he didn't die from smoking cigarettes, and I'm sure he didn't smoke a lot, because he didn't spend a lot of time in the shed. In fact, I don't know if I don't remember him ever, going to the shed even every day. I mean, maybe, I don't know, wasn't there all the time. But the thing is, my grandmother didn't get lung cancer, and she lived to be 91 years old. Nope, no cancer in my grandmother. No cancer in my grandmother. No cancer in my great-grandfather or great-grandmother. Oh, yeah. Smoke. And so forth. So I don't see, in my personal observations, any cases of anyone getting lung cancer from secondhand smoke. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I am saying that I think that it does not cause cancer directly. It's simply, shall we say, what's the word? It creates an environment in the body that perhaps allows cancer to develop. The cancer itself, I'm guessing, this is just my conjecture here. I'm not saying this is science or gospel or anything. Just talking here. But I don't know of anyone that got secondhand smoke lung cancer. I just don't know of anybody anywhere at any time ever. Not that I haven't heard of people that had lung cancer in around my family and so on. But a lot of my family members, males in my family, were coal miners, and coal and black lung and things of that nature. So emphysema, very common, because coal dust can pretty much kill your lungs, and it's a lot more dangerous than cigarettes. And yet nobody's banned coal mining. Anyway, well, they're trying to, but that's another story. So here's the thing, and I'll repeat it again. The cigarette manufacturers are committing fraud by selling a defective product. And why do I say that? One, they know damn well it's defective. And they made it defective on purpose because they're assholes. And I don't want to get into this, whether cigarette smoking is addictive or not addictive. Maybe. Depends on how you define addictive. And I'm not going to get into the big argument over that. However, I am not addicted to smoking cigarettes. I have the bad habit of smoking cigarettes. Now, if you're addicted, they define addiction and they define a habit. If you take those two words and look them up. And I am in favor of the concept of it's a bad habit. I got in the habit of smoking and I've just kept doing the habit. Can I quit? I have no doubt in my mind I can. Duh. It's a matter of making that decision. And should I make it? Of course I should. Should I smoke? No. Is it good for me? Nope. Is it bad? Yep. Could it hurt me? Yep. Could it cause emphysema? Oh, yeah. Could it cause other things? Yep. Could it be a breeding ground for cancer in my lungs and so on? Oh, certainly. And I've known people with lung cancer who were never around a smoking cigarette ever in their lives. Pretty much, ever. So, the storylines that come out, particularly in the last 20 years or so, are all really kind of iffy. Like, oh yeah, it causes lung cancer, blah, blah, blah. And usually not even a shred of evidence. Yeah, there's lots of evidence. Yeah, well, the evidence comes from where? From reputable people or from crooks? So at any rate, I have this habit because I've been doing it for so long. It's just second nature. Should I stop? Absolutely. I'm not going to debate that. That's not the point. The point is they're selling a defective product. I keep saying that. I keep coming back to that. They're selling a defective product. And as anybody in this country would know, you just don't do that. You don't do it, and you don't get away with it. Somebody brings you to task for selling a defective product. The problem is that smokers have been so demonized over the years that nobody listens. Nobody cares. You smoke cigarettes, who cares? Except that it's a defective product. What about if you were to say, let me think, there's an automobile manufactured, it is a defective automobile, it is dangerous, and it can, it's defective. People are having problems with their cars, like, the brakes are going out, or the steering wheel's coming off, or whatever. The gas pedal's sticking. The engine's catching fire, blah, blah, blah. Various reasons. I believe there are even laws that protect people from defective cars. I remember the Pinto and the gas tanks that exploded on rear end impact and stuff. You know, a dangerous, crazy car. I mean, who would buy such a car? And of course, the cars are no longer because, you know, they were defective. They were taken off the market eventually. Why? Because they were defective. And the manufacturer could, like, say, I don't even know how to go about fixing them so they won't be defective. Or they just said, I don't care. So people said, but your car is killing people. Now, I'm not talking about the cigarettes causing cancer and killing people. I'm talking about a defective product that is making smoking miserable for people that do smoke. And I'll illustrate here. You take a cigarette today, it's got that fire retardant crap in it, which, by the way, does not work. The only thing that fire retardant element of a cigarette does is cause the damn thing to go out 15 times while you're trying to smoke it. Not to mention, it's taken away some of the flavor of the tobacco. And of course, when you say something to the tobacco companies about this, well, we'll have to do it because the government made a thing and a law and we got it. And it says we got to make our cigarettes, you know, fire retardant because we got it or we can't sell them. So the tobacco industry is copping out. Oh, yeah, we can make a defective product because the government says we got it. And that's another defective part of the product is that the fire retardant thing doesn't work. Yeah, oh yeah, well it goes out. So, you know, as a safety precaution, because, you know, like a zillion people actually smoke a cigarette, fall asleep in bed, and their house burns down or something. Yeah, how many? You know how many? I don't know how many. Probably should look that up somewhere and find out how many people actually died, you know, or caught on, you know, their bed caught on fire because they're smoking in bed. And, you know, before and after the damn fire retardant shit. I'm going to guess that number hasn't changed much. I'm guessing, I don't know. Because I've had a cigarette that's supposed to be like, it's not supposed to burn, you know, if you're not puffing on it or something. Well, that's not true. It does. It just doesn't burn. It stops. I light a cigarette, first time, you know, hold the lighter to the cigarette and try to start it from burning, and whoo, guess what? You think you do, but nope, it's not lit. Oh, shit, now I got to do it again. Light it again. Oh, well, shit, still not lit. Try it again. You know, it takes 3 times to get the damn thing to light, you know, so you can actually smoke it, which is the whole point of having the damn thing. I mean, what's the point? If you can't smoke a cigarette and enjoy it, then what's the point in having it? Yeah, that's the whole idea. Yeah, right. I got you. They're trying to make life miserable for the smokers to make them quit. That's why they're adding all the taxes and shit to the cigarettes, because as a deterrent, hey, if we make cigarettes $10 a pack, people will stop smoking. Yeah, well, that didn't work too well, did it? In the first place, the people that had a problem with that were, you know, poor people. And who smokes a lot? Mostly poor people and middle class people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? People that can't afford $10 a frickin' pack. So now we've got extortion by the government in an attempt to force us to not do what they don't want us to do because they're tyrants and bullies and assholes. Now, I don't mind if the government wants to say, you know, here's a warning, we're going to give you some information and you can consider it, but we're not telling you you shouldn't smoke or can't smoke or whatever. Here's the thing. smoking, you know, blah, blah, blah. All right? Yeah, sure. And then I will hear them say it, and I don't want it on the pack, the cigarette pack, because that's just another part of this extortion, bullying tactics of these freaking tyrant, anti-freedom, you know, I don't want to call them Nazi fuckers that are trying to tell me I can't smoke a cigarette, which is perfectly legal, but, you know, we don't want you to. So who are you to tell me what I can do? It's free country, damn it. Want to smoke a tobacco leaf? It's my business. If somebody wants to manufacture a tobacco, cigarette, whatever, hey, free country. They should have the right to do so. Well, they do have the right. They just don't exercise it because, you know, tobacco companies are freaking cowards. They don't care about their customers. If they did, they would say, hey, government, guess what? We're not going to ruin our product. We're not going to produce a defective product just because you said so. We're going to sell our products to our customers who we appreciate. They're making us rich. They want to smoke. We're going to sell them cigarettes. That's our job. That's what they want. Government, stick it. Fuck off. Get out of our business. Get out of the face of the people that are smoking. It's because that's their right. If they want to get cancer or whatever, if it causes cancer, if it does, I'm saying if it does, yeah, I know you think you got evidence that it does. Well, maybe and maybe you don't. But at any rate, the point is, the defective product, that's fraud. And these government raising the prices and forcing the tobacco companies to put in fire retardant that doesn't do it. Oh, I was just on telling you about that. You know, you light it and you finally do get it lit. And then, you know, and if you're like smoking and you're enjoying it and it's cool and everything. And then, you know, it gets about a third of the way down and bam, goes out. And then, you light it again a couple of times and you smoke some more and, you know, oh, you think it's going to go out, so I'll just put it in the ashtray and I don't worry about it. Well, as it turns out, it didn't go out, and it just keeps burning, 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 right down to the filter. Even after you stubbed it out, it didn't really go out because the tobacco's still burning inside the cigarette, and I thought I put it out. But it didn't, and it goes right up, and then it burns the filter halfway through. I mean, what? So yeah, that's protecting people from, the cigarette catching things on fire. Oh, I put out the cigarette, it's not burning. Bing, 5 minutes later, you look at your ashtray and, the cigarettes and everything are caught fire and burning the filters and everything. And God help you if you empty your ashtray into a garbage can with paper and shit in it, and, it's going to burn right through the bottom of your garbage can if it's made out of plastic. And there, melt your carpet and maybe catch your house on fire. And why? Because his stupid cigarettes are fucking defective. It never happened before. Not in my experience in 50 years. Only after they started messing with him as a fire retardant shit. Oh yeah, I really enjoy smoking my cigarette one puff at a time in between lighting it again. And whatever they did, it sure doesn't add to the flavor of the cigarette. Guarantee you. By the way, I used to smoke cool ultralight. Ultralight meaning not as much nicotine, not as much tar. And I liked them. I enjoyed them. Guess what? They took them off the market because why? Because you were having too much fun with those cigarettes, dude. We're going to take them off the market. Just to be assholes and treat you like shit. And why? Because the government said, yeah, you take those off the market. And now they're talking about taking menthol cigarettes off the market. Guess what? I've been smoking menthol cigarettes for over 50 years. If you take the tobacco, if you take the menthol out, I don't want them. And they'll say, good, then you'll quit smoking. Wrong. I will get really pissed and see if somebody's got to pay the price for this crime. Depriving me of something I want. Free country, remember? Free enterprise. You understand what I'm saying? They won't stay lit. Sometimes they don't go out when they should go out. I mean, you say, I've only smoked it halfway through. I'll just put it out. I'll save it for later. But it doesn't go out. It just keeps burning. And the other time, clear down to the filter. You smoked it. You put it in the ashtray, stuff it out real good. And, guess what? You look at it a couple minutes later and it's still burning. Oh, so much for fire retardant. Apparently that doesn't work. Except when I'm trying to light it, or 2 or 3 times while I'm smoking it, that I have to keep lighting it, and then bam, when I'm trying to put it out in the ashtray, whoops, nope, doesn't work. It's defective, I'm telling you, and it's wrong. It's defective, and the government is to blame, and the tobacco companies are wussies, and it's their right to manufacture a product. I mean, it's a legal product after all. And even if it wasn't illegal, it should be illegal because prohibition doesn't work. Another bullying, dictatorial tactic by these assholes in the government. We need to stop these people from doing this. We need some kind of organization like the American Civil Liberties Union, if you can handle this, people, which they didn't help me when I needed them, but whatever. Something that says we're going to take these people to task. We're going to bring criminal charges against the tobacco companies for selling fraudulent cigarettes, committing fraudulent practices, and so forth, and sue them and bring criminal charges. I know. They say you can't sue the tobacco companies for cigarettes. Well, you can't sue them like if you get lung cancer, because, if you're smoking and it's quite possible, you should be aware at this point in time that, if you smoke cigarettes, you might get lung cancer. It's your chance, your risk. You made that choice. And again, you might not get lung cancer. But that's your choice. You made that conscious decision. I'm going to keep smoking. That's your right. In a free country. You say, should I? Will I? Can I? I think I will. No, don't think I will. That's your choice. That's called freedom. If you don't have that choice, if somebody's trying to impose a choice on you that says you can't, and you're not gonna, because we said so, that's not freedom. And this is America. And anybody, I don't understand all these rednecks that are like saying, oh, the government's in our business, and then, not one single word about, kicking some ass when it comes to, the tobacco companies selling defective products. Oh, they talk about, boycotting Coca-Cola because of some stupid reason, which is idiotic. And all of these other companies, they want to boycott these people, whatever. No, I'm not going to boycott Coca-Cola. I like Coke. I drink Coke. I'm going to keep drinking Coke. You don't like it, fuck you. Free country, and they got a product. It is perfectly legal. And, if I drink too much Coke and it causes me some kind of harm, then that's my fault. I mean, if there's something harmful in it, just tell me. Whoever tells people this thing, like the consumer advocates or whatever, here's the information. Drinking Coca-Cola, more than one glass a day can make your testicles fall out or something. Oh, well, I'll think maybe I should consider not doing that then. Or I'll just say, screw it. I don't need my testicles anyway. Whatever. So, freedom, free country, free enterprise, the right to engage in capitalism and so forth, and the right to buy a product. If you want it and someone's selling it, you can buy it. And the prices should be reasonable. Supply and demand kind of thing, not based on taxes being extorted from us for like $10 for a pack of cigarettes. $9 I saw someplace the other day. In my case, mine are like $5 or $6 a pack. Okay? It's just like 20 times more than it should be. When I started smoking, originally it was like, I don't know, 15 cents a pack. I see no reason why they should be more than 50 cents a pack. I mean, all that taxes on there just criminal. And we should say to the government, every smoker in this country should be on top of this. Every smoker should be saying, hey, tobacco companies, stop doing that. Stop selling us your defective product. Fix the damn thing. Do it now or else. Seriously. And the government, butt the fuck out of our business. Stop trying to manipulate us and bully us into doing or not doing things you don't want us to do. It's not your business. Yep, I'm ranting. I'm serious though. We need to bring actions against the tobacco companies and make them stop selling defective products and hold them legally accountable, because it's criminal. It's fraud. And the government, of course, extortion. All right? We're clear on that? That's my position. And if I ever win the lottery, a lot of people better hope I don't, because if I do, I'm spending a few $1,000,000 dealing with these fraudulent cigarettes companies. And I will win, because I'll just keep spending my millions until they win, till I win, and that's it. Oh, you're gonna raise the prices, and that'll deter people from smoking. And guess what? Doesn't work, for one thing, and secondly, what I'd like to see is some people making cigarettes. They're like, I don't know, in the freaking farmhouse in the barn over in Kentucky somewhere, and saying, "Yeah, I got cigarettes." And guess what? The government has nothing to say about it, because it's none of their business. I make these cigarettes in my barn. You want them? I got some. 50 cents a pack. No government regulations. No exorbitant, extortionist taxes. Just a legal product. Here it is. Like they used to do with moonshine, when that other illegal law existed, prohibition on alcohol. Another insane, stupid idea. All right. I've said my piece on the cigarette thing. And by the way, if you have a different opinion and you think there's something wrong with this and you don't agree with me, or I'm sorry, but you're just something wrong with you. It's time to stop this nonsense. And it's time the people said to these people, these animals and lowlifes, bullies and thugs, tyrants, anti-freedom, anti-capitalist, anti-humanity, dumb fucks, just stop doing this to us. We're not going to put up with it anymore. We're going to kick your fucking ass in court and stuff. Seriously. All right. Okay. That's it for today. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.